Okay, so in past videos, we have talked through how to do an NDIS application, how to log in, how to do a Proto account, how to choose your registration groups, what the process is of doing a self-assessment. And I had a lot of people come in and ask me to show them how to use ChatGPT or other AI to do an application against the self-assessment. So what I would say, preface this by saying, is that you want to make sure that whatever you use ChatGPT for, that you're actually doing this, because you can have your application refused for lying and not actually saying what you're doing. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's have a look. So what I've done is I have downloaded the practice standards. You can get them from the NDIS Commission's website. If we were talking about if the audit or the self-assessments were an exam, their practice standards is what you're being assessed against. They're the rules for providers. You need to know them. You need to be familiar with them. And that's why I think, at least, you need to do a self-assessment, is to ensure you actually understand those rules for the safety of participants, the community, and to safeguard your business. So I've opened ChatGPT. I'm going to upload from my computer the practice standards. So practice standards. Sorry, let me just find them. So I've just uploaded the practice standards to ChatGPT. If you don't have a paid account that uploads, you can copy and paste the practice standards in to this window instead. So I've got that in there, and I'm going to do it standard by standard, because ChatGPT works better standard by standard than you actually doing a whole lot at once. So let's say I want to write a self-assessment of how I demonstrate compliance against the practice standards. Use the first standard to draft a response on how I meet these. I am a SIL provider in New South Wales that supports young adults with intellectual disability. So I've given it some context. I've told it what type of provider I am. I've asked it to tell me how I meet these, and I've asked it to do the first standard. Okay, so then we've got our answer. It says participants receive support that meet their human needs. We communicate with participants in their mode of communication. We actively encourage them to support with their chosen network. So that's the first answer, right? So there's a few tips that I would give you to prompt back to ChatGPT to make this easier for you to put into the assessment. It needs to be under 2,000 characters, and it also needs to not have dot points, because they lose their formatting. So please redo that to be under 2,000 characters per standard, and with no dot points. Cool. So it's written one for us, right? Our service is committed, blah, blah, blah. So again, we would read through this, and then you can tailor it to what actually suits your organization. So as an example, if you don't have a zero tolerance policy, you could remove this. And maybe that's too long. Maybe, we could simplify that to 4, let's say 6 sentences, while still meeting the outcomes. Excuse my typos there. So there you go. There's something that's quite simple. And again, just make sure that this is actually things that you do in your business, but we can utilize the technology to help you write something that's about you. So our SIL service in New South Wales provides person-centered supports that uphold participants' human rights, ensuring they have choice and control over their lives. We respect individual differences, values, beliefs, and cultural backgrounds, incorporating them into support plans and daily interactions. So if you don't do that, remove that line. Privacy and dignity are protected through clear policies, staff training, and secure handling of personal information. Participants are supported to ensure decision-making with accessible information, advocacy options, and recognition of their rights to reasonable risks. So maybe that is enough. And then you could say, do the second outcome. And you could prompt it, and you can have these conversations with ChatGPT until you've got all of the self-assessment answers that you need. So there's no need to pay thousands of dollars to have a company write these for you. It is really quite simple and easy to have these done and make them tailored to you. So you can keep prompting and talking to ChatGPT, make them more. If you don't agree with them, you could say things like, we don't have a QMS, remove references to this. And you can have this conversation back and forth until you have something that is correct, meets the standards, and reflective of your business practices without you having to spend hours and hours writing and rewriting and writing things. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of an overview of how you can use ChatGPT to help you develop your NDIS self-assessments. Our previous videos have shown you what you do with this text to take this and then put that into the application while you submit it. Hope this helps.